So thank you, Mark, for that wonderful introduction. No, so the hardest part to do in a talk like this is to introduce yourself. So why? Because you get engrossed in thinking, what are you gonna say in your talk? Usually, because you leave out the beginning and the introduction part. Di ba? You're so busy with the body, anong sasabihin mo, no? The topic, that you always forget the beginning part or the introduction part. No, so when I was cramming and thinking late this afternoon on how I am going to introduce myself, I recall the questions Faith asked me so she can make the Facebook ad about the event and me. No, the questions that she had, the one question that really stood out to me was that yung question na what got me stuck with Riway? What got me stuck with Riway? So, iniisip ko, no? I am a man who wears many hats. No, I considered myself a man who wears many hats, meaning I have many responsibilities. Marami akong mga, anong tawag ba dyan, yung mga racket. No, I'm into many things. I have a lot of distractions. This is not by accident, of course. It's simply because I am just a very curious person who likes to learn and experience many things. And when I'm on it, I get so passionate on what I do. No, I get absorbed to the things I do. No? So I was into science. No, I graduated marine biology, so I was a marine biologist. I was also into research. No, a researcher. I was into different businesses. No, I sell this, I sell that. No, they even call me once adaltan, dalatanan. I have everything. Just name it, I have it. No, so also spent a chunk of my career life as an insurance man, and in fact, I was an MDRT and have many national awards as top financial advisor or a leader in the country. So I also love to help people improve their lives. It gives me satisfaction that you were able to help people. No, I want to contribute. No, gusto ko yun. I want to contribute to poverty alleviation, wealth redistribution, nation building, all those stuffs. No, so it comes to no surprise that I became a cooperative volunteer and serve my cooperative FICO. No, FICO right now is the biggest community type cooperative in the whole Philippines. No, it makes me proud. No, but I started as only as a member, and slowly I took higher responsibilities and positions. Started from taking the position of a credit officer. Then I became a treasurer of the cooperative of FICO. And eventually I became the chairman of the board of directors of FICO. So in short, I mastered the art of multitasking and juggled many responsibilities, positions, and businesses. So I thought that was a good thing, right? Multitasking is a good thing. But then I got to realize that multitasking wasn't really a good idea after all. I became a jack of all trades, but a master of none. So I learned that it is better to focus on one thing at a time, especially when you get older. No more energy. But going back to the question, what got me stuck in Riway? Maybe before I tell you that, let me tell you how I got in Riway in the first place. I was actually invited by my sister to hear about Riway. A certain lady from Jensen, all the way from Jensen, was in town, and my town was Cagayan de Oro, no? And she was here to talk about the product. And my sister asked me to just listen to her. That lady happens to be Ann Maliantok, my upline. So, being me, I consider myself a man of science. My orientation was really proof or evidence driven. In short, I was skeptical about fourth year placenta. My sister told me it's a it's stem cell therapy, but it's oral. You eat it. Sabi ko, how can that be possible? Lumabas yung pagka-marine biologist ko. When you eat it, it gets destroyed. Anything that you eat gets destroyed by the acidity of the stomach. So, grabe ka-acidic yan. So, how can that be possible? So, I said to myself, this is a scam. This is a scam. So, to make the story short, I had no choice but to attend because it was my sister who invited me. So, when I listened to Anne Malian talk about, she did in an OPP. Well, some of the questions that I had on my mind was answered. No, just like the enteric-coated, yung acidity of the stomach, no, it was addressed. So sabi ko, if this product is really that good, then maybe I should try the product. But when Anne told me about the price, I was shocked. Sabi ko, Anne, I like it but I cannot afford it. Marami pa akong utang. But you know what Anne told me? Just said that if I really want to use the product for free, you just have to share the product. All right. Sige, sabi ko. So, the first thing I did was really, I tried the product. And immediately, no, I felt there was something. It was good for me. No, it wasn't really a remarkable effect. Only I observed that, no, one, I had more energy. I don't easily get tired. And I play tennis. And I've noticed that my different parts of my body are now aching, especially my knees. No, it's probably due to wear and tear. No, when you play tennis. But the doctor said, "Oh, I think that's a early sign of osteoarthritis." I said, "Oh my God, simba ko. Huwag naman sana." But after taking Portier, maybe several days of taking Portier Placenta, I observed that not only do I have energy all day long, the pain on my knees has lessened. Sabi ko, this must be good. But much more, I was more convinced when my lab results came in. Because like I've said, I don't feel that I have any major chronic disease. But I knew that I was already mild diabetic. I was taking already metformin. I was already hypertensive, and I've been taking uh, losartan. I think that's it. Yeah, losartan. So I've been taking losartan, and I had fatty liver. No, so I also had meds for that. I think that's essentially forte. But when the results 2 months after, you know, long before that, I always have annual physical checkup, and I knew all these, yung mga lab results about my three ailments, mga sakit. They were always not normal. Fail talaga yan, fail. But to my surprise, after 2 months, when I took again a lab test, for so many years, for a long time, it was only now that I had normal results for all of them. So, di ba? Wouldn't you be convinced? So the question was I convinced of the product? Yes. But was it enough to convince me to stick with Riway, to be with Riway, to do the business of Riway? At that time, I didn't think so. No, I was not yet that convinced. So remember, Anne told me that if you want to use the product for free, what you have to do is just to share the product. So that's what I did on my first month. I enrolled April of 2018. I worked out on that first month. I had sold 28 sets, and on my first month, believe it or not, I became 3-star. So was I convinced of the potential market, how easy the product it is to sell? Of course, yes. Sabi ko, ang dali naman ito. This is a product na I can sell something in just one sitting. I have never done that when I was with insurance. No, alam mo, hirap magbenta ng insurance, no? Hindi yan pwede na one time kukuha ka agad yung client mo. So, yes, I was convinced of the potential, but I was not really still convinced to stick with Riway. Then came the next month. No, because diba, on my first month, I was already 3-star. And then I already qualified the next month, that was May, for a leadership training seminar in Chiang Mai, Thailand. Sabi ko, wow, galing naman nitong Riway. I work out this month, next month, qualify na ako for travel. When in fact, when I was in insurance, I am insurance, we work hard for this year to hit the target. And if we hit it, we get to travel the next year pa. Dito, 1 month lang, travel na kaagad. No? So that was something, no? Because I love, something that really attracted me to Riway, because I really love to travel. Okay, so during that leadership training seminar, no, it was, there were Pegasuses, no, on the stage. No, they were the speakers, no, and most of the speakers, they were really talking about, their accomplishments. They were talking about their Rolls Royce, their houses, their mansions, like that. No, I was thinking to myself, wow, I could never be like them. No, it's not really my personality to brag about the things that you have, the Rolls Royce that you have. But no, to be fair naman, they were not really bragging. No, what their intentions were really to show to people, that show to their teammates that, hey, look, I have done this, you can also do it too. Pero yung dating lang talaga sa akin was not really, maybe it's because of my personality, hindi ko kayang, I cannot do that. So sabi ko, maybe Riway is not really for me. But when Dr. Lim Bon Hong started to talk, no, it was, I think he was the closer at that time. He, Dr. Lim talked about Riway culture. That the Riway culture is about helping people. The more people that you have helped, the more successful you will be in Riway. And he also said that here in Riway, we want to help you. That's why we're giving you the highest compensation in the network industry. But when Riway has helped you, Riway will then ask you, what can you do? How can you help your people, your downline, and other people? Sabi ko sa sarili ko, wow, this must be the reason why I am here. No? Because if the criteria of being a Pegasus is being to help a lot of people, then I am willing to become a Pegasus one day. I can do it if that is the criteria. So that really hit me. No, parang after that after Dr. Lim Bon Hong's talk, I was like teary-eyed, no, but I was looking and I said, I'll just keep it to myself. Yeah, so this is also the reason why I get so excited. No, no. So to go back to the question, what got me stuck with Riway? Well, I think it's all of the above. You know, the product, the potential market, the income, but most importantly, it's because of the culture of how we do business here in Riway. So when Faith told me that I am going to be the speaker for tonight, I was so excited because this topic embodies what Riway culture is all about. I want the leaders here in this meeting, especially the new ones, the first timers, to understand our business in Riway and how to succeed in it. You know what? I'm not supposed to be the speaker tonight. There was some miscommunication. When Faye told me, Benjong, you're going to be the next. I was thinking about tonight. So I prepared for this topic. There was no communications from Faith. So come Friday, I said, there's no communication. So I messaged Faith and then I asked her, I am the speaker for this event, Sunday's event, right? I'm just making sure. Then she replied, oh no, you're not going to be the speaker. You're going next week ka pa. So when I heard that, I was like a bit disappointed and discouraged. Not because that I love this topic, but because I already prepared for it. Di kaya easy mag-prepare for an event, for a talk like this. It really zaps out your energy. Madidrain ka talaga. So you're telling me I'm not the speaker, then I have to prepare again for the next topic next week. Ang hirap kaya niya. Di ba? So, okay, so maybe let's go to the topic. No, so my topic for tonight is the 4 criteria to building a successful Riway business. Okay, I hope I can give justice to this and make you understand ano ba talaga ang business natin dito sa Riway. Okay. The 4 criteria. The first one is professional image. So, cultivating a professional image leaves a good impression on others and makes them want to interact with you. If you're you have a professional image, a successful distributor must also be healthy, neat, and tidy. Okay, one requirement, sabi nila, if you want to be successful, you wear a suit. You wear a suit. So it has been said that you should be wearing a suit every day of your working life, not only on interviews or when you attend wedding. If you want to be successful, that's according to a new study that analyzed the psychological effect of dressing, its effect on people. Sabi yan, you should wear a suit. Psychologists at California State University at Northridge put subjects through a series of experiments to gauge the relationship between clothes and cogency. Cogency means the quality of being clear, logical, and convincing. In the first experiment, participants were asked to show up, rate the formality of the outfit that they are wearing, and then complete tests to determine how they process information, how they solve the problem. Okay, that's the first people in formal clothes does the test. The second experiment followed the same progression, except this time the participants were instructed to turn up in formal wear. Nakaragged sila. The data collected showed that when subjects were dressed formally, they were more adept at abstract processing, which means that they are more likely to see the big picture rather than obsessing the minor details. So, abstract thinking is held to be useful when solving problems and therefore a key attribute for the successful businessman. For example, abstract thinking is helpful when receiving criticism, as the thinker can take a step back from the negative feedback rather than letting it affect their self-esteem. Kaysa maapektuhan sila, ma-stress sila, ma-disappointed sila, ma-depress sila from the criticism. It can also be useful when making financial decisions. Sabi nila, they say abstract thinker is more likely to avoid being tempted by impulse purchases, impulse buying. Instead, they make astute long-term investment calls. So the psychology of the suit, why is wearing a suit important? Because putting on formal clothes makes us feel powerful. And that changes the basic way we see the world. When you wear a formal suit, you give off an increased sense of being competent, assertive, and professional. It alters the way you think others think about you and the way you think about yourself, and can even change the way you see the world around you. How much more would this effect be in the Philippines, where almost nobody wears a suit? Diba? It will be more powerful. So why not use your suit as your weapon? If you're not good at selling, then wear a suit. Make your suit as your anting-anting. Diba? So, like Darna, si Darna, merong bato. O, ding! San yung bato? Ding, yung bato. O now, sabihin mo, ding! San yung suit ko? So that you will be powerful. Of course, it's not all about suit. But to be professional means not only in the way you dress, but also show it in the way we speak and act. Okay? So, very important, first criteria, professional image. The second criteria is strive for excellence and winner's attitude. This is the foundation for success. A successful distributor must be driven to win, not give up, continuously strive for success, show no fear in the face of adversity, and constantly believe in him and herself. No, I will not be talking about how we can develop winning attitude or how to strive for excellence. I'm sure we all know that, correct? Ang dami na nating seminars, online information, di ba? Online Zoom about this. Having the right attitude, no? Being laser focused, about being teachable, open up your mind, being motivated, ano pa dyan? Or just do it, di ba? I'm sure doctorate na kayo niyan. So I'm gonna banner you with that. In fact, sa dinabi-dami ng seminars na na-attendan nyo about goal setting and strategic planning, naging super motivated na kayo. You're also hyped up. No? In fact, sigaw pa nga kayo ng sigaw, paiyak-iyak pa kayo, declaring, oh, I want to be Pegasus. Mark my word, in Jesus' name, hallelujah, I will be Pegasus. Murag mga buang, di ba? Pero, what happens the next day? The next week? The next month? Wala na. Ang Pegasus, nagiging Pigasus Mariusep. Pigasus Mariusep. Ka-relate? Don't worry. Isa na ako dyan. So you're not alone. But the question is, what happened along the way? There seems to be a breakdown somewhere. Yes, we are so motivated. Yes, we have that winning attitude. Yes, we also know our goal, our end result, and that is to be Pegasus. But what is missing? It's the process, the action, or the daily grind. Yung sinasabi nating daily grind. So, you know your goals. You know your end results. You know what you want to be. You want to get that. But there's a missing link, and that is the process and the action. Saan na yung action? So what prevents you from doing the action? So why is it, no, let me ask you, why is it that when we first had our first job, or any job for that matter, why do we hurry to go to work, come on time, and not be late? Nahihiya tayo na malate kasi kung anong sasabihin ng coworkers natin. Napipicture na natin yung mukha ng boss natin. No? Ayaw natin mapagalitan. And then we also strive our best to hit our boss's deadline. That's why we make sip-sip to please the boss. Why do you think is that? Because we are paid and we have that accountability, right? You have an obligation to perform and deliver what you are paid for and expected of you. But how come now that you are in Riway, you are no longer working, you are now your own boss? Bakit ka nagiging batugan? No, you're waking up late, maybe after lunch na, feeling COVID ka na, ayaw mo nang lumabas, lots of excuses, blah, blah, blah. That's why pati yung income mo, kinobid na rin. Right? Okay. So, why? Why is this? Because we don't have accountability. Wala tayong accountability. We are not accountable to anybody anymore. Kasi tayo na yung boss. Nobody's looking over our shoulders. Kaya nagiging walang hiya na tayo. Correct? So, I am not gonna talk to you tonight about winning attitude. Yes, we need that. But more important, I want to talk about how to develop accountability so that we can focus on the process or the action so that we get to reach our goal and we will win. That is winning attitude. That is part of winning attitude. Okay? So how does it actually work? So let's use this common example. I have a friend who wants to start a business. Sino makarelate? Every one of us always thinks about about starting a business. Even me. I always do that. So, like Larry, he was entertaining the idea of starting a business. Okay? He really wanted to start, but every time he wants to put his toe in he gets cold feet and jumps out. Natatakot siya. Not really diving into it. No, so he does a little bit in, a little bit out, no? Papasok na naman, lalabas. He did what a lot of us do. Delay and find excuses that he needed to learn more about the business. Marami pa ako kailangan pag-aralan. So he decided to read more books, take more courses, right? Stuffing more knowledge in your head. But he wasn't taking any action. There is so much information already available out there that knowledge, learning things, and keeping yourself motivated is no longer a problem. It's actually turning that knowledge to action that becomes the hardest part. Yes, that sounds easy, right? Take action. Very easy to say. But when we go to take action on the big, hairy, and scary goals, like hitting Pabo or Pegasus, it's hard. It can really be the hardest thing a person can do. And you find that the bigger the goal is, the bigger your fear response will be. The bigger your resistance to it. So what do? You start procrastinating to it and finding reasons, excuses not to take action. Ka-relate? I think, no? I think so. Kasi ako rin, kakarelate. So in the case of Larry starting a new business, he has been delaying it for a long time, and he doesn't want, because he doesn't want to put himself for rejection and looking like a failure in front of the people that matters to him the most. So of course there's going to be a huge fear response to the brain, and that's just the way our brains evolve. We have a very powerful negativity bias built in our brain because this has kept us alive and served us really well in the last couple of millions of years. 'Di ba? The common response of animals, when you expose them to fear, including us humans, when we get threatened, it is either we freeze or we flee, we run, but not fighting. So imbis na fighting and running for Pabo or Pegasus, kay nakuyawan nahimo noong running away from Pabo. So when something scares us, we tend to shut down and get rid of negative feelings, and like using excuses. So for those new people here pala, new leaders here, Pabo and Pegasus are ranks. No, we have ranks here. No, we start with 1 star. If your sales are good, you become 2 star, 3 star, until Pavo is the middle, and then Pegasus is the highest rank. Okay, so when we say Pabo and Pegasus, that's hitting your goal, hitting your rank. Okay, so the natural adaptation was useful to us before because we were exposed to a lot of dangers. We were living in a dangerous life, in a time when just getting a little scratch could get us infected and we can die. But we don't live in that environment anymore. We now live in an environment when we need to take big risk. We need to be bold. But this limits our brain and our negativity bias. The negativity bias is holding us back. Now, scientists have pointed out that we need qualities like grit and discipline to overcome this fear bias. No, para you can overcome that fear and actually be successful in this modern world that we have. But the problem is, in most cases, it's not enough to overcome the fear. Kulang. Yung sipag kulang. Takot pa rin tayo. When we run out of willpower and we run out of grit, yung sipag, where can we create more? Well, good news. Humans have another evolutionary tool that's even more powerful and more consistent than willpower. And that is social pressure. Humans have a strong desire to fit in with a group. Isn't that what accountability is? At the end of the day, it's being part of a group that is exerting positive social pressure. And because of that pressure, we stick with it and we accomplish big goals. We evolve to fit, and that need is stronger than our resistance and stronger than our fear. It's more infinite than willpower, and it's never gonna go away. Think about how cool this is. Accountability bypasses the fear and resistance and gives us this powerful incentive to do things even when we don't want to do them. Mapipilitan tayo. So, think about this example. If it's very hard for you to wake up at 4 a.m. and then go outside in a cold weather to jump in a cold swimming pool. Diba mahirap? But think about if you are a part of a group and every single person in that group was waking up 4 a.m. taking the cold plunge. Well, all of the sudden, you didn't do it, you you would be the odd man out. And suddenly, no, ikaw lang yung ano, you would be feeling the social pressure. They would make kanchaw to, and you have this pressure to fit in, and it overcomes your fear of the cold water because it is replaced with a new fear, and that is not fitting in. That is social pressure. So think about when you promise a coworker, a boss, a client to get something done. There was always that social pressure to deliver, and you made miracles happen. Sometimes you can get things done in 24 to 48 hours, and that would have taken you a week to get it done. That's the miracles of cramming. You become creative under pressure. But when you tell yourself you want to lose 5 pounds, suddenly it's 3 years later, you haven't made any progress on that goal. Diba? Because you're just keeping it to yourself. No accountability. So the American Society of Training and Development found that when you commit to somebody, you are going to get something done. Now, when you commit to somebody that you're going to do something done, this is your goal. The chances that you are going to get that done go by 65%. If you tell somebody, if you do not keep it to yourself. Now, if you have an appointment in the future on an accountability session, parang accountability meetings, with that same person, now it goes up to 95%. So there is a proven and documented link between making commitments and having accountability and actually achieving big things. Accountability is one of the biggest reasons why we have leaders able to get big results. When they commit to somebody or to their team, because they surround themselves with positive social pressures, it creates an environment where it's much easier to create that behavioral change that previously people struggled with. So here's the question. When it comes to the big goals that you have in your life, like starting a business, losing weight, running for Pabo or Pegasus, do you want to go it alone and know that that's the hard path? Or do you want to take the easier path? Surround yourself with accountability that really works. No. So how do you develop your own accountability? You need to have these 3 layers of accountability, or what we call the 3 P's. So the 3 P's or the layers of accountability. Number 1 is people. Second is the process and the system. And then the third is public declaration and accountability. Let's start with people. So with people, there are 3. No, you could either have one of them or you could have all of the 3. No, you can have to. The more, the merrier, the better. So it's having a coach, a body system, or a team. Now, a coach can be your upline and is very important because he stands as your bar raiser. He creates a space of elevated expectation for you where status quo, your present accomplishments, and average results are no longer acceptable. Only your best results are allowed. Now, the second one is the body system. A body is somebody who is responsible for you and you're responsible for him. This concept is so powerful that just the idea that you are tied together through sink or swim, and that obligation keeps you both engaged to whatever it is you're engaged in. So whether it's working out or getting an incredible result in other areas of your life, no, you will benefit from this buddy system. But let me warn you that good friends make terrible buddies. Don't use your best friend as your buddy because they are susceptible, you two are susceptible to emotional bribery from each other. Maawa ka naman sa akin, yung gano'n, di ba? Mapipressure ka. So, find somebody whom you respect but not really besties or best friends with. You find somebody who are not really close to you. Okay? And then the third, no, in the people accountability is the team. Now, a team is a group of people whom you respect, are people whom you respect. These are like-minded individuals who are at your level or higher. So, mutual respect. There's mutual respect. Remember, teams are at their best if you have respect with each other or the people around you. If respect is there, then you're gonna be motivated to take action. And when they give you feedback of something, then you're more likely to listen to it. No. Friendly competition, no, a team will provide friendly competition among each other. No, I have this experience. I have a leader who is a millennial, fresh graduate, no market. Remember, we are in a COVID pandemic situation. So naturally, some team members have a lot of excuses that they could not get out. They are afraid. Their prospects will not see them because they're also afraid. They cannot do Zoom because they're not techie. Their prospects are not techie also, blah, blah, blah. No, so when I started caddying this millennial leader, and with just a few referrals, we I caddied her, just so she will get into the groove of doing activities, selling activities every day. So it becomes a habit sa kanya, But surprisingly, she was able to sell 2 sets in just one day. So consequently, the rest of the leaders heard about this, got intrigued, and challenged by the fact that a millennial with little experience and market could have sold 2 sets in a time of COVID pandemic. The funny thing was, I didn't do anything, but suddenly everybody now was doing selling activities and pushing me to do caddying with them. Yes, friendly competition is good because it's hard to make excuses when somebody else, especially below you, a person below you, on your team is having better results. Bakit nagawa niya, hindi ko nagawa? When you have a team, you will find endless motivation. And that discipline will thrive when there's that competitive spirit. So teams help us stop making excuses. There's no excuse. Okay, so that's people. No, you have to be accountable to people. Kasi yan ang kulang when you are doing Riway business. You are your own boss. So the second layers of accountability is the process or the system. We got to have real commitment with formal structure. So let's say you agree with your upline or your coach that you need to have a daily schedule for you, such as 3 to 4 people a day. Call 3 prospects a day. Maybe invite team members to sharing, invite prospects to virtual OPP, once a week. It doesn't matter whether it's raining or not. You've got to be committed and be accountable to do that schedule or do that routine. Okay? Pag walang system, walang mangyayari. And then the third and the last layers of accountability is public declaration and accountability. Public declarations is telling the world what you are going to do. It's telling the people around you, know what your goal is. Tell them what your goal is and what is it that they will hold you accountable. That's why when you declare to people that you are going to be a Pegasus by this X date, this blah, 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 you've got to deliver. Kasi you will lose face. So it's hard. I know it's hard, but you've got to do it. If you're really serious in winning your goal, you gotta tell somebody, and so that you will be accountable. When you get out there and tell your team and your upline that you are fighting for Pegasus by X date, then that really puts you on the pressure to deliver. Public accountability gets a fire out of your butt to get it done. All these 3 layers puts you in a massive pressure in the game, and the more you are on the hook to something, the easier you will find it is to deliver that thing. We need discipline and grit to get things done, but we also need accountability. When one of those layers doesn't work, then there are other layers that will compensate. So marami yan. When you have these 4 layers in place, it absolutely amplifies your discipline to a level you have never thought was possible. It will greatly magnify your goal, your chances of hitting your goal and winning. So our ultimate goal really is to win, right? We want to win. And in Riway business, winning is synonymous to ranking up. Why? Because ranking up builds credibility. For people to follow you, to join you in your advocacy or business, you have to have this winning attitude. Okay, let's go to the third criteria. Okay. This is adequate and sufficient knowledge. A successful distributor is a person who is of substance, and who is up to date with the current affairs and most things under the sun. And he is also humorous. So may sense of humor. Okay, breadth of knowledge allows the distributor or the leader to find common topics of interest with others, making it easy to interact with people. Other than this, humility and empathy are also the traits required of distributors. So I'm not going to discuss on how to obtain knowledge, because I know you all know that since you were a kid. That's why you're in school, diba? That's what we're in school for, to get knowledge. So I won't bore you on that, but instead I will talk more about this, what I call the benevolent triad. Ano yan? It's humility, curiosity or knowledge, and empathy. They are called the benevolent trinity or the benevolent triad. So let's start with humility. What's humility? This trait is the root of all growth, learning, and kindness. It's the belief that you are not yet so great that your mind cannot be opened. No, ito yung sinasabi natin, you have to open your mind, open your cup, be an empty cup. So, just like the pawn, yan sa picture. The pawn is the weakest piece in the game of chess. But it only if it opens his mind, learn things, work hard, and reach the other side, he can become a queen. The pawn can become a queen and becomes the most powerful piece in the game of chess. No? I really love this topic. No, this is Roxy Slim's topic. No, I got this from Roxy's topic. So it means that we are the presence of mind to remember that we are all interconnected equals, and that injustice against one is injustice against all. That is humility. So it is flatly an absence of entitlement. So, do you know Karen? I'm not talking about Karen, the yaya, ha? Yaya ni Faith na became a successful distributor and leader. I'm talking about Karen in the US. The white entitled lady in the US. No, I think you've seen that. It's viral in Facebook. No, Karen thinks he's better than people of color. No, she's entitled. That's why, because of her entitlement, she harassed, humiliates, mga people of color in the States. That's simply the absence of humility. Entitlement is not being humble. So humility is not thinking less of yourself, but it's thinking of yourself less. No, we're all equal. Humility, I have learned, sabi ni Simon Sinek, I have learned, must never be confused with meekness. Meekness or weakness. Ibig sabihin, being humble means you don't feel you are subservient or you are below people, you other people. But humility is being open to the idea of others. You respect the ideas of others. So this is from Proverbs 16:18. Huh? I'm not making this up, but this is very important. Pride goeth before a fall. What does that mean? Pride goeth before a fall. People who are overconfident or too arrogant are likely to fall. Diba? Have you seen people sa Riway na yung mga know-it-all? I am a doctor. I am a lawyer. No, I know more than that speaker. Ano naman yung speaker? Wala naman yung grado. He's not even a graduate. He's not a doctor. No? If you are not humble, if you have high pride, close-minded, here in Riway, you will never learn and certainly you will never succeed. Pride goeth before a fall. So, the next of the benevolent triad is curiosity. Without curiosity, you cannot be enthralling or engaging, nor most rudimentary of all, you will not be successful. It's frankly impossible. Kung wala kang alam, bubok ka. You're never gonna be successful. So, curiosity drives an insatiable quest for knowledge, culture, novelty, experience, beauty, art, and connection. People who exhibit curiosity can become masters, but they must first always have an open mind. Meaning, before you will have knowledge, you gotta have humility first. Humility is the bedrock upon which you can build a life filled with stories. That's why when you travel, you learn. When you're curious, you are filled with stories. You're filled with memories, accomplishments, and relationships. So, with curiosity and humility, you will get the third of the benevolent triad, and that is empathy. This trait is the miracle drug of humanity. It is the simplest, sweetest attribute one can possess and the most worthwhile one worth cultivating for social success. If you want to win friends, many friends, be an empathic person. Empathy brings people closer and makes others feel understood and less alone inside. No? So, empathy is the most important skill for leaders. And it's the one that shines above all others. Empathy, of course, is our willingness to put ourselves in the shoes of others, to see others, see and feel as others feel. No? It's putting ourselves in their place. No, so you have noticed this benevolent triad. These three are very closely related. That is no mere accident. In fact, when you stack them all together, humility, curiosity, and empathy, you can easily see how they amplify each other. Humility is the soul, curiosity is the mind, but empathy is the heart. Ganda, di ba? Humility is how you value yourself. Curiosity is how you value others. But empathy is how you value the bonds between yourself and others. Humility is the soil of knowledge. Curiosity is the water that helps it grow. But empathy is the sunlight that shows us which way to bend. And if you take any two without the third, you're missing a crucial component. It will not be complete. But when you bring them all together, you create the benevolent triad. These three traits are the key to becoming warm, smart, memorable. No, they are irrepressible and irresistible. So they are the favorite qualities you want to find in others, whether you are recruiting them, hiring them, dating them, if you want to date them, or you want to learn from them, learn from a lead, you treat them as your leader. These are the qualities you look for above all others. Okay, so great leaders have the ability to create high-level rapport with their clients and their team. They have the ability to connect on a very human level. This rapport is built upon the leader's benevolent triad: humility, curiosity, and empathy. These attributes combine to generate trust and confidence, and they are the foundation of long-term relationships. So I want to emphasize on this. If you want to be a leader and be successful in this Riway business, you have to have this attribute so that you will gain your prospects' trust, your team's trust, and confidence. And because our business is a relationship business, this is very important. So use this method to develop it with your clients and with your team. Okay, so let's go to the last but the most important criteria. So to review, ano yung 4 criteria? Number 1 is professional image. Second is winning attitude. Third is the benevolent triad: knowledge, curiosity, and empathy. All these 3 will lead us to this most important criteria, and that is integrity. This means if you have integrity, this means dealing with every matter with honesty and sincerity. No? Sustainability and not profit-making is the key in business. Do not be greedy for short-term gains. Instead, focus on integrity and correct attitude. A customer would definitely recommend the product to others after discovering the benefits personally. This is running a business with integrity. Now, integrity is the most important leadership trait. It is the most important trait that anyone can possess. It's a little word, integrity, but this little word has tremendous implications on our lives. Our integrity, our honor, or lack thereof, will be the marker of our lives. It will define who we are. It represents our relationships. It sets and shapes our lives. No, so we must come at this word with a common understanding. So let's define the term. What is integrity? Integrity is the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles. A person who has integrity lives a lifestyle marked by honor, characterized by trust. People know that they can depend on a person with integrity, that they can be trusted, and their word is their bond. Now, a person's lack of integrity, no, kung wala kang integrity, it will catch up with you. I'm not talking about living a life of honor, a life of integrity. When I'm talking about that, I'm not assuming that any of us are perfect. No? We all make bad judgments and have made wrong decisions. Even ako. No? But the times that I have sacrificed my integrity for the pleasures of the moment, no, yun mga natintal, can cause great internal guilt, for me or for anybody else. But I'm just lucky siguro. I've never had to face my consequences of my stupid lapses in judgment. Hindi pa ako siguro nakulong or something, But I'm not talking about this, itong mga momentary lapses of judgment. We all make mistakes. I think we all have them. What I'm talking about is living a lifestyle marked with honor, characterized by integrity. No, we want to try. It's the default to be a person of integrity. Parang it's we want, our aim is to be, parang natural default natin to be a person of integrity. It is the single most important character trait that a person can bring to leadership. No? So I always believe that integrity is the most essential trait that anyone can possess. Now, if I know a person who has high level of integrity, I know that a person can be trusted and will be dependable at work. But integrity doesn't end at the entrance to the workplace. It should not be a part of who we are. It should be a part of who we are. We should be known as persons of character, persons of integrity, both in and out of the workplace. One of the biggest lessons I've learned in life about integrity is to avoid people I know who are lacking in integrity. They are not to be trusted, even in the smallest things. No? If you can't be trusted on small things, how much more on big things? So, besides not being moral, associating with people who lack integrity can be dangerous to one's mental health. Ma-stress ka, you'll get depressed, you get angry, no? It's also dangerous to a career or your business. And in extreme cases, it could be dangerous to one's own life. Agree? The problem with dealing with people without integrity is that these people have no moral compass. They will do what they think is easy for them in any situation. No? Quick sell. No? Get rich quick at the expense of other. What gives them the most benefit and the most pleasure? They are only thinking about themselves and will do almost anything to get the things that they want. It often means doing things that are unethical and often illegal. Now, once a person gets a reputation as someone that doesn't have integrity, it will become hard, if not impossible, for them to regain any position of trust. Do you agree? Once trust is broken, no, it will not be the same. So, what is the life lesson that I've learned by observing consequences of lack of integrity? I've learned that it's always in my best interest to act honorably, to be known as a person who has integrity. No, my reputation for being a person with integrity has opened opportunities for me that I didn't even know existed. I couldn't be an MDRT if my clients, my friends, my family do not trust me. And maybe for being pavo, if I cannot be pavo if people do not trust me. Also, from what I have observed, the consequence of having no integrity is often more too high. So your reputation is your most valuable asset. Guard it by living a life of honor, a life of integrity. Psalm 78:72 says, "And David shepherded them with integrity of heart. With skillful hands, he led them." Ano ibig sabihin? This is King David. King David led his people with integrity. Integrity and skill are the dynamic duo in leadership. The skillful hands refers to the above three criteria. Each one is crucial quality on its own. But when both are in place, people will naturally follow you. Okay, take note. People will naturally follow you. So God appointed David to be king and to lead his people. But who is David? He was not born out of royalty, but was just a shepherd who killed Goliath with a single stone. Now, Psalm 78:72 tells us that David led them with integrity of heart, referring to David's character, his motivation, his attitude, and his moral uprightness. A leader's integrity of heart encourages his or her team to follow because they trust him. They know his word is good. They don't doubt his motives. But David wasn't just a man of integrity. He was also skilled with the hands. The hands referred to his ability and actions. He does his job well. No? This leader who is diligent and focused, he receives training if necessary to improve his competence. As with integrity, a leader's skillful hands encourage his or her team to follow because they trust him. He inspires confidence in them. Now, question. How would the writer of Psalms document your leadership? No. If the writer of Psalm would document ano yung leadership niya, can it be said of you? He or she shepherds his team with integrity of heart, and with skillful hands, he leads them. So I pose a challenge to all of us. Let's do an inside and outside check. What can we do to cultivate our integrity of heart? What can we do to increase the skill of our hands? Share these thoughts with a team member, with an upline, or with a buddy, and ask him or her to keep you accountable. Okay? Very important, huh? Keep them be accountable to them. Kasi in this business, nobody is looking over our shoulders. So you need to publicly declare. You have to declare it to somebody. What is it you really want? What are your goals? And be accountable with them. So the 4 criteria, let's review. The 4 criteria, ano yon? Number 1, professional image, winning attitude, knowledge, sufficient knowledge, and the benevolent triad, no? Humility, curiosity, and empathy, and integrity. Practice consistently these 4 criteria. Apply it every day. When you do this consistently, you are on your way to building your successful team and your Riway business. Thank you, everyone, and see you on top.